The Atlantic Ocean is a realm of vast, blue solitude. But 600 miles off the coast of Morocco, the horizon breaks. Out of the churning foam rises a fortress of basalt and emerald, a place where the clouds seem to get caught in the jagged teeth of the mountains. This is Madeira. It is not just an island. It is a testament to the sheer willpower of nature and the relentless spirit of the people who tamed it. To arrive here is to step into a different tempo of life, where the air smells of salt and hibiscus, and every cliffside tells a story 5 million years in the making. Geologically, Madeira is a phoenix. Born from a series of violent volcanic eruptions, it began as a molten scar on the ocean floor, cooling over eons into the dramatic topography we see today. There are no flat lands here. The island is a vertical labyrinth. From the sun-drenched shores of Funchal to the mist-shrouded peaks of Pico Ruivo, the landscape shifts with a dizzying frequency. It is a subtropical paradise, yet it carries the rugged DNA of a mountain range that simply refused to stay submerged. For centuries, Madeira was a ghost. The whispers of islands in the Western Sea appeared on Italian maps as early as the 14th century. It wasn't until 1419 that the world truly took notice. Portuguese explorers João Gonçalves Zarco and Tristão Vaz Teixeira, blown off course while exploring the African coast, found sanctuary on the neighboring island of Porto Santo. Looking across the water, they saw a heavy, permanent cloud on the horizon, a dark mass they feared might be a portal to the abyss. What they found instead was a dense, impenetrable forest. They named it Ilha da Madeira, the Island of Wood. The early settlers faced a Herculean task. To make the land habitable, they had to clear the ancient forests and carve terraces into the near vertical slopes. It was back-breaking work that defined the Madeiran character, resilient, stubborn, and deeply connected to the earth. By the 15th century, Madeira had become the white gold capital of the world. Sugarcane plantations stretched across the sunny southern slopes, fueled by the labor of enslaved people and the ingenuity of Portuguese engineers. This wealth transformed Funchal from a small settlement into a bustling maritime hub, attracting merchants from across Europe. But sugar was just the beginning. The island's true legacy was yet to be bottled. If you want to understand the soul of Madeira, you must follow the water. Because the north is rainy and the south is dry, the early settlers engineered one of the most remarkable irrigation systems on the planet, the levadas. These narrow stone channels, stretching over 2,000 kilometers, carry the lifeblood of the mountains down to the thirsty fields and villages below. Walking a levada is a meditative experience. You move through tunnels carved by hand through solid rock, past waterfalls that spill directly onto the path, and along ledges that offer dizzying views of the valleys below. These paths were once the only way to traverse the interior. Today, they are a hiker's pilgrimage. They represent a harmonious, albeit forced, marriage between human necessity and the natural world. In Madeira, water is not just a resource, it is a guided symphony. As you climb higher, the air grows cooler, and the light begins to filter through a thick canopy of ancient green. You are entering the Laura Silva, the laurel forest. This is a living relic, a prehistoric ecosystem that once covered much of southern Europe before the ice ages wiped it out. Madeira's isolation and stable climate turned the island into a lifeboat for these ancient trees. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Laura Silva feels like a cathedral. The trees, some hundreds of years old, are draped in moss and ferns, their twisted branches reaching through the fog like skeletal hands. Here, the endemic trocaz pigeon flits through the shadows, and the rare Madeira firecrest sings from the heights. It is a silent, damp world where time seems to have stalled. To stand in the middle of Funchal, a high plateau often swallowed by thick mist, is to feel the weight of deep time. It is haunting, beautiful, and utterly indifferent to the modern world. At the base of these mountains lies Funchal, a city that climbs the hills like an amphitheater. Named after Funcho, which once grew wild on its shores, Funchal is a vibrant mix of colonial elegance and contemporary flair. Its streets are paved in calçada portuguesa, intricate black and white stone mosaics that shimmer after a rain. In the heart of the city lies the Mercado dos Lavradores. It is a sensory explosion. Flower sellers in traditional striped skirts offer proteas and bird of paradise flowers, while fruit vendors display fruta deliciosa, a strange, scale-covered fruit that tastes like a mix of pineapple and banana. In the fish market, the espada, the deep-sea black scabbard fish, is king. With its huge eyes and razor-sharp teeth, it looks like a creature from a nightmare. But on the plate, it is a delicate, white-fleshed delicacy that defines Madeiran cuisine. But Funchal is also a place of whimsy. In the hilltop suburb of Monte, you can find the Carros de Sesto. These are wicker toboggans, steered by carreros, dressed in white straw hats and rubber-soled boots. They slide down the steep asphalt streets at breakneck speeds, a tradition that started in the 19th century as a practical way for wealthy residents to get to the city center. Today, it is pure, unadulterated joy. No discussion of Madeira is complete without its namesake wine. Like the island itself, Madeira wine was born of chance and perfected by hardship. During the age of exploration, wine was loaded onto ships heading for the East Indies. To prevent it from spoiling, it was fortified with brandy. The intense heat of the ship's hold and the constant motion of the sea cooked the wine. Surprisingly, instead of ruining it, the process transformed it into something indestructible and complex. Madeira wine is the only wine in the world that thrives on oxygen and heat. It can age for centuries. Bottles from the time of the American Civil War are still drinkable today, offering notes of caramel, dried fruits, and a sharp saline acidity that reflects the volcanic soil. It is liquid history. It was used to toast the Declaration of Independence in 1776, and it remains the island's most sophisticated ambassador. Beyond the city and the forests lies the rugged coast. At Cabo Guirao, one of the highest sea cliffs in Europe, a glass skywalk suspended 580 meters above the Atlantic offers a terrifying perspective of the fajas, small plots of cultivated land at the foot of the cliffs, accessible only by boat or cable car. Further west, the village of Porto Moniz showcases the raw power of the ocean. Here, volcanic rocks have formed natural tide pools. As the Atlantic's swells crash against the shore, the pools are replenished with crystal-clear salt water. Swimming here, with the spray of the ocean on your face and the dark basalt beneath you, is a reminder of the island's violent origin and its enduring beauty. In the north, the landscape is even more dramatic. The village of Santana is famous for its paljosas, triangular, straw-thrifty houses that look like something out of a fairy tale. The north coast is a world of shadows and steep ravines, where the mountains fall directly into the sea, and the waves are a constant, thundering presence. Madeirans are a people of the land and sea. Their festivals are loud, colorful, and deeply rooted in tradition. The flower festival in spring turns Funchal into a living carpet of petals, while the New Year's Eve fireworks display is legendary, once holding the world record for the largest pyrotechnic show on Earth. But the true spirit of the island is found in the taberna. It's in the taste of pancha, a potent mix of sugarcane spirit, honey, and lemon, shared among friends. It's in the bolo do caco, a warm flatbread slathered in garlic butter, and the espetada, laurel-skewered beef grilled over open flames. There is a warmth here that goes beyond the climate. It is a genuine hospitality, born of an island that has always been a crossroads for the world. As the sun sets over the Ponta do Sol, casting a golden light across the terraced vineyards, you realize that Madeira is more than just a destination. It is a masterpiece of resilience. It is a place where humans didn't just survive, they thrived by listening to the rhythm of the mountains and the whispers of the Atlantic. The Emerald Sentinel remains, standing guard in the mid-Atlantic. It is a sanctuary for the ancient, a playground for the adventurous, and a home for those who find beauty in the vertical. Madeira reminds us that even from the harshest volcanic fire, a garden can grow, provided you have the patience to build the levadas and the courage to climb the peaks.